chess friends, I hope you are doing well. Today, I have Robert James Fischer, who is an American chess grandmaster and the 11th world chess champion, a chess prodigy whose peak rating was 2,785 with an IQ of 180. He is the best chess player in history and my favorite chess player. I played against him, and of course, Bobby Fischer didn't come from heaven. I played with the Bobby Fischer bot to illustrate our buoyancy in chess, so, stay tuned until the end of the video. I started the game with e4. Fischer played c5, and after knight f3, the bishop goes to c4, and we have knight to f6 attacking the pawn. This was unleashed many times in the chess database. After the knight move, we have e6 to block the bishop's diagonal, and be careful Fischer, I can play knight to g5 to attack your pawns and showcase my power. After d4 and all the exchanges occur, we have a6 to protect against any sort of piece entry on the b5 square. That's what Bobby Fischer wants. After castling, we have b5 attacking the bishop. And of course, Fischer wants to consider bishop to b7, gaining access to the file, which is his major idea in his openings. With the black pieces, Fischer has to play very carefully. When I played a4, attacking the pawn with 3 pieces, Fischer just played b4, blocking the position. After the knight moves, attacking the pawn, many chess players might consider a5 to protect the pawn, but the problem is that you created your own weakness on the b5 square. Therefore, I can play c3, attacking with my 2 pieces. After the bishop moves to b7, I can eventually capture the pawn on b4. After recapture and capture, the bishop will dominate on the e4 square, putting pressure on the pawn. After the bishop moves, you can see that I created 2 connected passed pawns on the queen side. The good thing for you is that you have your center. You can push forward your scissor pawns. That's how the game will progress. I will get queenside passed pawns, and Fischer will get the center. But in our actual game, he is not interested in a5 to protect the pawn. He is likely to be a chess opening master, sacrificing the pawn to gain positional advantages. When bishop to b7 happens in the game, attacking the pawn with 2 pieces, how can you protect the pawn? Your queen or rook is not capable of protecting the pawn. You can see that your b4 knight is just dumb. He can't protect the pawn at all. The other knight also cannot protect the pawn. You may complain that the toilet paper is out in the bathroom, but you have to go. Anyhow, you may consider playing f3 to protect the pawn. After queen to b6 arrives, putting pressure on the knight, these 2 knights will be under pressure. Therefore, you have to consider c3. After a5 happens, kicking out the knight. No matter where the knight goes, black can even consider e5 to attack your knight. Your knight will be paralyzed. Therefore, the best move for white would be to consider bishop e3, gaining access to the file, sacrificing the knight, simultaneously. Knight to f5 will arrive with the idea of attacking the queen. That's the only best move that white can do. Later, after some exchanges, you can see that you can capture the pawn on b4, gaining 2 passed pawns on the queen side with the support from the bishop and rook. The game will progress like that. Where you lose your piece, you also lose your phone in the river while on a boat, trying to make a video of the river, but you accidentally drop your phone. So, let me share a motivational quote in sudden with you. Be grateful for what life brings you today, and hopeful for what it will bring tomorrow. Going back to the position, we discover that playing f3 would be a very bad choice. That's why I played every cutting move in the Fischer style. Can you guess what I played in this position to shock Fischer? Try to think a little bit. Here, I played bishop takes e6, sacrificing the bishop like a champion. After the exchange occurs, the queen and rook are simultaneously under attack. When the queen moves, your rook is under attack. But if you dare to capture the rook, I didn't capture the rook, but if you dare to capture the rook, he will simply capture the knight on b4. After the knight moves, he can even consider queen takes e4, attacking the pawn on g2. I have to move back my knight to f4 to protect the pawn. You can see that with the open diagonal of the bishop, black has another bishop. He has the bishop pair. He can join his rook on the f8 square or the c8 square to gain access to these files. All these moves are possible, and the queen, the most powerful piece, is located in the center. The position will be good for black. and Fischer will dominate my position. Therefore, going back to the position, instead of capturing the knight, I said to Fischer, "Hey, I am giving you a chance to protect your knight. Let me consider bishop to d2, now you can protect your rook from being captured by the knight. If you seriously try to protect your rook by sliding it to e8, you will be gone. Don't you know that I am a combination of Magnus, Mikhail Tal, Bobby Fischer, Anatoly Karpov, Hikaru, and the Joker, Levi Rosman. I can play any moves or combinations they play in their actual games. I can consider knight to d5, attacking the queen. You can see that your queen will be vulnerable, it has literally no square to go to, and the position will be in my hands, the game will be over. Going back to the position, we saw that the rook cannot be protected, therefore, after the queen moves to e5, I capture the rook, we have queen takes e4, trying to attack the pawn, f3 happens. Then we have a check, rook to f2 happens to protect the second rank simultaneously. After the knight captures, we have bishop to c3. Here is a question for you, do you capture the queen or not? Remember, when you are leading the game, you should not exchange queens. But in black's case, he has progressed a little bit. After a couple of moves, we have a rook here, the knight captures rook to e2, the knight goes to c4, the knight is well protected, my rooks are dominating on the e-file, trying to dominate, the knight moves here, and after a couple more moves, we have queen exchanges. At the end of the day, we have further knight exchanges, rook to a1 happens, gaining access to the a7 rank. That's what happened in the game. Slowly but surely, we are doing some piece maneuvering and development. The rook goes here. The bishop moves back, I am trying to protect my position, the pawn goes here. After a couple of moves, you can see that we are doing some pawn exchanges. Rook takes c6 happened in the game. In this position, Fischer is threatening to consider bishop to h4, bishop takes pawn, his knight is dominating the position. With the major pieces, my rook is vulnerable, my pieces are passive, therefore, I capture the piece on c6, after capture, I finally capture the pawn on d4, activating my rook. Fischer is doing a very good job here. I don't know why he ended up with 3 pieces. The Fischer bot is a combination of Leela 0 and Stockfish 16, but it is a very strong bot, and you can see that my pieces are just passive here. How can I protect my position? In the end, he has an extra knight, and it is completely winnable for Fischer. It was a very good game that I played with Fischer, and I hope you enjoyed it very much. Fischer is trying to promote the pawn on h5 to h1, and you can see that we are just doing some checks and dances on the board. In the end, I lost my rook, and he captured it and promoted into a new queen, checkmating me. I hope you enjoyed the game very much. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, for more videos like this. Subscribe, wishing you all goodbye, take care and see you soon.